Let's go ahead and try to hop into our game here. Both casters are rearing and ready to go. We're going to start off with top 8 of the final Moonrise Premier Tournament. Let's see what we got. Cobalt potentially taking the lead. No, Trishula, I believe, is taking the lead here. Top 8 is decided by seeding for first or second. Just pick up the Spirit deck and put in the Lunar Spirit.
Starting off with an expend to draw.
Draw set 1. It can be kind of dangerous.
Giving Trishula the chance to react to whatever Elestral or play that Cobalt makes. Into a Nog on the first turn.
Nog is really strong, especially for the strategy, trying to see those combo pieces. I like the one set playing conservatively around Hurricane. First light coming down from Cobalt.
Now, what do you think Cobalt's looking for on this first light to start off this game?
Well, if I had to imagine, if it's not the Celestlio on the top to potentially draw, discard something like the Comagma from earlier, we have a Draco Ray on the top potentially.
Cockeret.
Or Cockeret, excuse me. That's the TP
from the yep.
Yeah, Cockeret getting on the top here. Maybe an expend to draw the Cockeret. Whoa!
Oh, a
huge surprise of a Winjin.
The Shattered Stars art Winjin.
This is crazy. Do we see a Gorgon's Gaze in response from Trishula? Otherwise, this prediction does go through. We see a Winjin, Calfmel, and
one Tornadian.
This is huge. It looks like the Outback Sunrise has a little bit of Outback
Just
surprise for us.
Trish could have a PTA.
It could be the tried and true PTA from Trish.
Is there the poison-tipped arrow to answer this Tornadian? Also, the tournament pack, or not the tournament pack, the Shattered Stars Tornadian.
I love that Shattered Stars Tornadian. This thing is looking quite good. See if there's a response from Trish. Doesn't look like there is. Potentially going to go ahead and call some cards from Cobalt. I think here, if you're Trish, you'll have no problem maybe Gorgon's Gazing this Ascension and then hitting it with something with a Cryoblast. That Tornadian's looking very Cryoblastable.
Oh, for sure. If Cobalt goes to activate the Tornadian effect, he could activate the Gorgon's Gaze in response, just to make it so Cobalt burns an additional Spirit.
There's the PTA.
Ooh, there was the PTA.
Poison Tipped Arrow coming down from Trishula, as he predicted here. It's going to be expensive to start this off. That is a lot of damage that Trish is taking, but Cobalt as well has gone down to 15 spirits already. Take a Rise.
Rise. Is that a Gorgon's?
I believe that is a Gorgon's Gaze. And see the third card, Beta Breath, a First Light.
A First Light. And that Cockeret is on top, or was on top, that we saw from the Winjin.
Yeah, I think they called the Cockeret, taking the Cockeret, so now they have the First Light could be live. I like this play from Cobalt, effectively saying, I will be getting either a play to protect myself for next turn, I will be getting this Cockeret, or I'm going to be getting this Celestlio now.
Mm-hmm.
First Light off the top.
Ooh. Which means Cobalt has a chance to go Cockeret into Dracoray immediately.
I do like this play, given like maybe one of their counter rune, Cockeret into Dracoray, putting the pressure onto Trish early. Trish still, though, sitting pretty with a couple cards in hand. I don't think you're in a bad spot. Golden Apple Discord. Could we see it here?
Did Cobalt already have the Celestlio in hand with a Rise?
Oh,
there goes the Celestlio. Like the Stained Glass Celestlio from Shattered Stars.
Random card getting discarded here. We've got something coming down from Trish. Let's see it. It's this card here. It's an Altar of Stars getting ripped out of Trish's hand. And the Golden Apple of Discord also milling a Hydrake and a Zeus.
Wow. Those are really big. There's the Rise.
There's the Rise. The first Celestlio.
Turn 1 for Cobalt. Celestlio on the board, and there's no PTA to stop it.
This is so much damage.
Tornadian took it.
Oh, wow. Cobalt strategy seemingly coming together here, combining the genie and wishing for this lion to come down. This is absolutely a killer. Swinging in for potentially 5. We're going to foretell here just to add some Elestrals. Or to rearrange the top.
2 Apollos, a Draco Ray, and a Rise.
Going to add that Draco Ray. I imagine the Rise will be put on top there.
Absolutely.
This is pretty killer. If you're in Trish here, what are you thinking to yourself? This is a tough spot.
This is a very tough spot. Trish still has the option to pay for the Tornagion. Getting rid of the Tornagion. They would need to top deck, I would say, a Resting on Your Laurels or Earthquake. It's probably the most ideal situation here.
They're taking a lot of spirit damage here. That's 5 from the Tornagion and the Celestlio, and then a payout of 2 from the PTA. So total count of 3 from the PTA, 5 from the attacks. That's an 8 spirits, 7 to 11 here.
And both these casters have only done 1 turn.
This is
we have
already
Cobalt at
so
7
close.
and Trishula at 11. And there's only been 1 turn. This top 8 is going to be insane.
Are you comfortable at this position if you're Cobalt? I mean, the 7 spirits with the big body is nice, but Trishula has a lot of room to play with.
Absolutely. We already saw that Cobalt has the First Light and the the Cocker Ray in hand. Being able to immediately go into the Draco Ray to heal back those spirits.
Yeah, this 7 to 11 might have to be forgotten. There is a expended draw from Trish.
Oh, no.
Ooh,
You
the
hate to
Swolax
see it.
special. Pass back to draw. This is going to be very dangerous. I mean, if there's an Apollo on top, we think we predict that this was a foretell of the Rise, but as a Gorgons comes down to stop the effect of the Celestlio.
Stalling 1 more turn. Hopefully Trish can find another answer on the next one.
7 to 8 with a Cockray coming down. There's that tournament pack again. We know First Light is there in hand. Yeah, this is looking.
And here's the First Light, which is going to allow the Cocker Ray to special ascend into Draco Ray, healing back those solar spirits.
I think what's crazy about this too is having the Rise. Again, we're kind of just predicting based off of the foretells from previously, but another Rise in hand means that this potential First Light puts on maybe a second Celestlio. Looks like it's going to be a calf mill. That seems pretty good, actually.
That would be awesome.
We got a Cockray, Draco Ray coming down over this Cockray, going to be ascending and healing back 3 spirits. Cobalt is firmly in that driver's seat, making the spirit differential oh so good.
And healing back those 3 solar spirits. You got to remember that the Celestlio has been Gorgon's Gazed, so no attack from the Celestlio this turn, but Cobalt can still get in for 2 with the Draco Ray.
I do like here as well, you mentioned the Laurels, or potentially like an Earthquake, some removal, and now with the Draco Ray on the board, that Celestlio is protected, so Trish has to have 2 forms of removal.
So if you're Trishula here, what card do you want to find aside from removal? What other answers do you have?
Triple Ambrosia, Earthquake, and somehow manifesting a second Earthquake because you're actually playing a starter deck. That's, I think, the way to go here.
And there's the Rise.
Cobalt trying to put Trish on just as much of a position as uncomfortable as possible. That is crazy. What is Trish, or what is Cobalt bringing back here?
Tornagion?
Oh, that Tornagion was brought down by the PTA. Just for some extra damage, maybe.
Going for 2. Yep, it's the Tornagion. Misenchanted.
Wow. Using those spirits to good use.
2 solar.
Yeah, you're on 3 spirits. You might as well just swing in for 5 additional. Trish takes all 5 damage. And he takes 4 damage.
And they leave with a back row. 1 card set face down. I think Cobalt is pretty confident going forward, even with only 2 spirits left.
This is absolutely killer. You can definitely take off of the Elestrals to cast that back row. If it's anything, could also just be a bluff set, and putting Trishula on 2 or 4 spirits now is very scary. See how Trish responds here. No action so far from the Bridesmaid. 4 spirits left. Do we see an Ambrosia? This is the type of place where an Eddy can come down. Do we see a Gorgon's Gaze? Cobalt, we saw that beautiful TP rare. And it is the Gorgon's Gaze stopping the Eddy.
Which will be enough to stop Trish from taking game 1, it looks.
Oh,
Does Trish have anything to go down?
Close. Do you think we'll see an Ambrosia? Do you think that we'll see a resting?
I think if Trish had a resting at this point, he would have snapped that. Oh, there's the Ambrosia.
Ooh, but off the Eddy, that does not feel good at all. You're feeling like that's maybe a desperation play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another Gorgon's Gaze or a shield in the grip to stop one of these attacks, but we know the Kaufmel is coming back up on top, so you're taking at least 3 damage between the Draco Ray and the Kaufmel.
And bringing back a water, a thunder, and a wind.
Set 3 pass.
Putting out multiple targets for that Celestlio. One of them could be the answer to protect Trishula here.
Ooh. Well, the Apollo, Comagma, Winjin, and the Rise getting foretold here by the Celestlio, so no destruction of Trish's back row yet, but no Gorgon's Gaze either from Trish.
That was the best outcome that Trish needed there.
Essentially save
no
themselves
pop from Celestlio.
If you're Cobalt here, do you have 1 water spirit inside the spirit deck to save for Tsunami?
They should. They absolutely should. Ooh, is this another Ascension?
I believe so.
Draco Ray over Draco Ray to bring back even more spirits.
Just as good as an Ambrosia here. When you're playing Solar, you might as well be playing a deck of 40 Ambrosias. It's a Kaufmel into Draco Ray heal is a very cool play that you can do constantly in this strategy. I'd love to see this play be made here. Also puts Trish on maybe taking all 6 spirits.
So it looks like Trish is responding with the Tsunami.
There it is.
Delaying yet another turn.
Yeah, that Draco Ray being a 3 defense is pretty tricky to deal with. No Cryoblast alive can handle it, but you do have a lot of Elestrals that you can just blatantly swing over, and with no back row from Cobalt, you're clear to do so. Celestlio, on the other hand, a little bit more tricky, and it looks like Trish is scooping it up for game 1, going to Cobalt here with Celestlio. Hopefully we can see more of Trish's deck here as we go into game 2 of this top 8 of this Premier Tournament. It looks like Trish is going to be on the play here again. Let's see if we start off with an expended draw, or if we can see some of those side deck cards to help combat the Celestlio.
Ooh, starting off with a Werepup.
Werepup here, very strong. Werepup indeed. That would have been kind of helpful, but Werepup is a weird one here. It's a pretty big body in the Lycovoid Ascension after the full moon, but a little bit bigger than the Lycovoid is a very large cat named Celestlio.
Mm-hmm. With 1 set, looks like Trish is going to pass. Safe to assume that might be the full moon.
Yeah, could be anything.
Could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat. Could you imagine? We get that off here. I think for Cobalt, you're very much fine if that's the full moon, because now you can go to Comagma. Magma effect activate to draw discard. Did Trish pro set a Gorgons instead?
And the Comagma effect resolves.
Looks like that's good. Discard the Celestlio. Number 2. This might be.
Is this happening? Turn
Number
1
2!
Again.
The explosiveness of this deck.
We just witnessed Celestlio come out on the first turn for Cobalt. 2 games in a row. Is this going to be a repeat of game 1?
I can only imagine. This is absolutely incredible. We've seen more Celestlios come in here than in almost the entirety of Daybreak. This is insane. Taking what was previously a second place strategy here and bringing it to this level and showcasing just how strong it can be.
2 cards into their hand and popping both the Werepup and the back row.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
So powerful. The mighty lion roaring down Trish at the moment.
This is the last Moonrise Premier, correct?
That's it. Absolutely, we're back in Daybreak as far as I can tell. What is going on? This is incredible. Trishula here, not quite out yet though. This board is very breakable. You know, you have Earthquake, Laurels can do it. Even cards like Cryoblast and the Comagma into a combination, but you do have to see the combination of removal. 13-10 is also nothing to scoff at with that Celestlio. So Eddie to Zeus does also not do it.
Trish choosing which spirits he's going to expend here.
Trish has been in these positions before, very difficult spots, but if we know one thing from this decorated caster is that you can never count him out. And this is the perfect reason why. This exactly is the line from Pen Terror to Hydrake.
Ooh, here we go. And like mentioned before, Pen Terror has the highest attack stat in Elestrals.
This is going to be expensive, but you know, if you're Cobalt here,
and no answer from Cobalt.
You're crashing. We will see the big bad dragon face off against the largest cat in the jungle. Twindra and the Stellar, gorgeous.
Very nice Stellar from the first tournament packs. And the Twindra crashing into Celestlio.
Taking a bit of spirit damage here. And Ari, where are you at? Pent, best deck. Do we see the Pen Terror? Maybe even a Stellar Pen Terror. Water Spirit down. Gonna be misenchanted here to play on Tsunami.
Does Cobalt have the PTA or the Gorgons?
The Hurricane Spirit's coming down for our Pen Terror here. Look at that. This is the big dragon. 15 attack. Taking down the Celestlio.
No response from Cobalt.
This is insane. Clash of the Titans here, both in players and on the board. Joey Pokeyame is currently popping off somewhere.
And just like that, the game's turned around.
What was thought to be so over is now so back for Trish. This is maybe what Trish was trying to configure for last game, waiting for Hydrakes, because, you know, as we saw before, Hydrake can easily clear boards very similar to Moonrise newcomers like Navi.
Ooh. And here comes the Winjin.
Jinin. This could do it. A removal would be killer.
Are we doing a blind search?
We have to. See
if you're Cobalt, what card are you going to name?
Well, Rise is a pretty good one if you've called Rise. Did you call Rise?
Was it the Rise?
It might be. I think it was the Rise. And Ascend from
it
hand.
was the Rise. But that also means
it's killer.
Celestlio's coming back.
And you don't have to activate this Tornado in here. You see, you know a Cockray is on the top. If you do reanimate this Celestlio, that means that you have a guaranteed pop, unless a Gorgons is on Trish's side waiting.
I'm at the edge of my seat here. This is absolutely insane.
And might as well throw the rest of the seat out. This is a great first start to this this top 8. I am absolutely floored. Okay, so we did call. It's Hurricane, Nectar of the Gods, and we shall see. Maybe trying to bait out the Gorgon's Gaze here. And a Gorgon's Gaze. Speak of the devil. Do you think that if you're Trish, what's the best card that you could be giving Cobalt right now?
Probably the Nectar of the Gods. I want to say Nectar of the Gods, but that can you can use the Nectar to get back the cards that you just weren't able to. Speaking of, on our theme of manifestation today.
Yep, there we go. We'll shuffle them back into the deck. Possibility of grabbing those cards here.
Cobalt could do the Nectar of the Gods, hit an Apollo, see the top of the deck, and then rearrange it for that Celestlio to come out.
And I'm really curious to know why not Rise first. You know, the Cockray was on top from the Foretell. You could have that be removal. Maybe, again, playing on the Gorgon's Gaze is maybe the safer option here. Shuffling it back up, making sure this is all good to go. 11 spirits to 8 spirits. This is still anyone's game.
Is the Solar Kitty going to make a comeback?
Let's see. It's now or never. There's the Rise. No Divine Blessing. Would make a lot of sense here, getting rid of your dragon.
Are we going to see a Poison-Tipped Arrow or a Gorgon's Gaze?
I think both would be absolutely killer. If I had imagined Gorgon's Gaze is like the only card that can save you here, Cobalt trying to Hero Call and Foretell 4. If you're Trish, do you let that go through?
And it resolves.
And there's one.
One hit.
Oh,
the Neblio.
No! Neblio!
Now, choosing the Pantera instead of the back row.
That is killer. You're on 8 spirits left. Trish, you're going to take this damage. That is so much. Down to 5.
Does Trish have a Tsunami?
Tsunami would be the way to go. And the only way to save this. You got rid of your big boss Elestral and Pantera. Are you playing a second one?
I want to point out, we're still on turn 3. A Shield of Achilles.
No! Shield of Achilles. My nose to this turn 3 here. I feel like I've gained so many gray hairs here. The edge of my seat is currently breaking off as I'm witnessing 2 of the best casters duke it out. This has been incredible.
Oh, and here's the Eddie going to take out the Tornadian. Does Cobalt have the answer?
There's Gorgon's Gaze!
Gorgon's Gaze!
2 spirits left from Trishula, and similarly 2 spirits left from Cobalt. Is there 1 spirit left from Trish? Oh no, this is sudden death.
What's it going to be?
Last turn.
A Caffamel.
It's my girl Mel putting in a little bit of work, seeing if this Tornadian can get in. Thunder Spirit and a Zeus set. It was a bluff. That is a 2-0 for Cobalt, moving on to top 4 with Celestlio.
A dominating performance from Celestlio here.